Hello, everyone. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
And today we're going to compare the freshman years of JuJu Watkins and Caitlin Clark and their potential future in WNBA history. Welcome to Mark and Rob's Sports Showdown. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell. Now, I want to make it quite clear, I'm a big Caitlin Clark fan, but I'm not crazy about it, like in terms of overrating her. I think, in my opinion, I criticize her all the time, and so does Rob. And I also am a big JuJu Watkins fan, but not as big a JuJu Watkins fans as I am Caitlin Clark. I'll admit that. But that doesn't mean I can't be objective. At least I'm going to try to be objective in this video, and Rob will be too. JuJu Watkins' freshman year was hailed as a great year, and it was. And some people think she's going to break Caitlin Clark's record for most points in NCAA history 3 years from now, or 2.5 years from now. And she might. But I want to point out some things in their stats and their years, and then you can compare them. And because some of the people I think JuJu Watkins fans are a little bit delusional about the year that she had and are overrating her slightly, even though I think she's a phenomenal athlete. She's obviously a better athlete than Caitlin Clark. She's taller. She's 6'2". She's faster, has more agile. She can jump better, quicker, everything. She's a better athlete. So she has great potential. And no way, and I like her. She seems like a nice person. She seems humble. I have nothing negative to say about her like Angel Reese. But she's a volume shooter. Her shooting percentage was not good. And she also had more turnovers and assists, which isn't good for a guard, especially. Now, she's not a point guard, to be fair. Mm-hmm. But people said, well, she, had better stats than Caitlin Clark's freshman year. And I'm not convinced she did, but it's close. I'll let you decide. I'm just going to give you the stats. Okay. So in scoring, she averaged a half a point more than Caitlin Clark, 27.1 to 26.6. However, she took 3.5 more shots per game. So efficiency-wise, she wasn't as good. Rebound, she was a better rebounder than Caitlin Clark, she's a fantastic rebounder for a guard, JuJu Watkins. Caitlin Clark is a very good rebounder, and JuJu Watkins is just great. 7.3 rebounds a game as a freshman. Unbelievable, really. Yeah, Caitlin Clark was 5.9. Great for a guard also. Assists, it wasn't close. Caitlin Clark was 7.1 to 3.3 for JuJu Watkins. Steals was JuJu Watkins 2.3 over 1.3 for Caitlin Clark. Blocks was JuJu Watkins 1.6 over 0.5 for Clark. Now, she's a better defender than Caitlin Clark. So I didn't make that clear. Turnovers, Clark had more, 4.8 to 4.1. But the important factor is the assist to turnover ratio. And Caitlin Clark was a positive 1.5, and JuJu Watkins was 0.8, which is considered negative because she had more turnovers than assists. Shooting wasn't even close. Caitlin Clark shot 46%, and JuJu Watkins only shot 40%, which is not good for a high volume shooter. 2-point shooting percentage, Caitlin Clark was 55%. JuJu Watkins was only 43%. And 3-point shooting, Caitlin Clark was 40%, and JuJu Watkins was only 32%. So as you can see, Caitlin Clark was a much more efficient shooter than JuJu Watkins. And some of the JuJu Watkins fans say Caitlin Clark's a turnover machine, but JuJu Watkins, like I said, had more turnovers than assists.
Now, Mark, let me refresh, Mark. Are you comparing both of them for freshman year, right?
Just the freshman year, right?
Okay.
Not Caitlin Clark's whole career.
Right, yeah.
Free throw shooting was 0.58% for Clark and 0.52 for JuJu Watkins. So it's very close. So scoring and free throw shooting were almost equal. And Caitlin Clark was better at all types of shooting, 2-point, 3-point overall. She was better at assists and better at assist to turnover ratio. JuJu Watkins was better at rebounding. She was better at steals and better at blocks. So it's pretty even. And advanced statistics, I'll go into those. The only problem is when I went to it, they only had Caitlin Clark for her whole career for PER and win share. But I'll give them. Her PER is 39%. JuJu Watkins is 34.9. And win share, Caitlin Clark was 41.2. And JuJu Watkins was only 8.3. I just throw that in for sake of completeness. I don't really have the win share for Caitlin Clark's freshman year, so it's not really a fair comparison. In the playoffs, or in the NCAA tournament, Caitlin Clark's stats were almost the same. JuJu Watkins' shooting percentage actually went down. She shot 37% from the field in the NCAA tournament and only 29% for threes. But she actually had more assists than turnovers. So that actually improved in the NCAA tournament. Caitlin Clark's were pretty much the same as she was during the year. So in terms of clutchness, in terms of play, JuJu Watkins went down a little bit, but up a little bit too at the same time. Okay. So Rob, what do you think of those stats in general?
I mean, like I said, this both freshmen, and I don't know about the fans being delusional, because I mean,
I'm saying they're delusional where they claim that she's the greatest scorer, better scorer than Clark, when her shooting percentage is much lower. The only reason she scored a half a point more was because she took 3.5 shots more per game.
Okay.
So to say she was a better scorer is simply not true.
Okay.
And to clamor about turnovers when she has more turnovers than assists is simply not true. It's not a good argument when Clark has a much better assist to turnover ratio, which is important for guards.
So what you're doing, when you're going against the JuJu Watkins fans who are trying to say that she's her freshman year was much better than Caitlin Clark's.
Yeah, it's simply not true.
Okay.
They're pretty even. I actually give the edge to Caitlin Clark. I think she had a better freshman year than JuJu Watkins. Some people were saying that she was a better player as a freshman than Clark was as a senior. I mean, that's delusional. Caitlin Clark was two-time player of the year.
No, that's definitely delusional. Yeah.
I'm not attacking people who like JuJu Watkins. I'm attacking the JuJu Watkins fans who are the extremists who are saying things like that. And I'm just bringing them back to reality, because I think it was very close what their freshman years was. And I think potential-wise, it's very close. Now, I will say I think Clark has the it factor, and I think Clark is ultra super competitive more than any woman I've ever seen on a basketball court. That doesn't mean I don't think JuJu Watkins is very competitive too. I just think Caitlin Clark is this much more than any other player I've ever seen, which is part of the appeal to me and other people, and also why I think she has the potential to be the greatest player of all time. Now, JuJu Watkins is. Go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
Yeah. So that started from freshman year. You could see the potential of Caitlin Clark becoming to what she's eventually going to be. That you think she's going to be. I mean, she was awesome. She was the best women's college basketball player. Right. So, and now she's in the pros, and you think that's going to carry over? Keep going.
I do. I think JuJu Watkins is going to have a great college career, and she's going to have a great WNBA career. And I'd be very surprised if she doesn't end up one of the top 5 players, maybe, of all time. Yeah, so that's how good I think she's. So I'm not downplaying her at all. I think shooting percentage will go up.
She has great. She has great international experience under 17 and under 16. She was MVP for under 17, under 16 and 17. She was a major factor in the team winning the gold medals for those games.
Yeah, and like I said, she seems like a really nice young woman. I think her shooting percentage will go up. And I think her turnovers and assist ratio will improve as she goes through her additional years in college. And I think she's neck and neck with Paige Beckers for Player of the Year next year. If she improves in those 2 areas, she might even win it.
I see the freshman class coming in for USC, and they got some really good ball players. I've been watching some of the summer tournaments, under 17 teams overseas, and there's a couple of players from USC. I'm like, wow, with her and JuJu Watkins, they're going to be up there. I mean, I think this year's college basketball is going to be really up for grabs. Everybody's picking Connecticut, but they got to watch out for South Carolina, and USC is going to be right in the mix there.
Right, and I just want to point out that JuJu Watkins made All-American first team her freshman year, and Caitlin Clark made second team All-American, although numbers-wise, she was better than Dane Evans. And I thought she should have made first team All-American her freshman year, but she didn't. She only made second team. So advantage JuJu. And like I said, she is a great athlete. She's 6'2", so let's keep that in mind. Her skills are going to transfer very easily into the WNBA because of her athletic ability and her height. That's tall for a guard.
Right.
And most 6'2" people in the WNBA, let alone in college, play forward.
She
So
scored. She scored 32 points her first game against a ranked team, Ohio State.
right, I think her
That's
shot
wild.
selection. I think her shot selection has to be better. Caitlin Clark's shot selection her sophomore year wasn't very good. Her numbers, shooting percentages went down her sophomore year. And I think JuJu Watkins needs to do that and not always just shoot. But they have a pretty good team. USC, they didn't have an awful team, so it's not like it's her and nobody else. So, but anyways, like I said, Caitlin Clark has the advantage of being a point guard, though. And the point guard, if you're a great passer, and if you're a point guard and you're just kind of like a pretty good passer, But if you're a great passer like Caitlin Clark, and I maintain she's the best passer in the history of women's basketball, she has the advantage of being able to make her teammates better more often than a shooting guard does. So that's why I think Caitlin Clark has a slight advantage to going down as the best player of all time, because of the fact that she's such a great passer and she's a point guard. But like I said, I have nothing against JuJu Watkins. Her future is so bright, it's unbelievable. Because of her athletic ability and size, I think her rookie year in the WNBA might end up being better than Caitlin Clark.
Yeah,
so we'll see. And I don't think she'll get the same reception that Caitlin Clark got.
Yeah, I wonder if she'll get the same reception. I wonder if that's going to happen.
I don't know, Rob. All I can say, JuJu Watkins, she won't get the same publicity. She won't get the same publicity that Caitlin Clark will. Now, don't get me wrong; she's an exciting player, but she's not as exciting as Caitlin Clark. She's just not. So, like I said, I have nothing against her. I think they're going to be two of the greatest players of all time, and I just thought it was interesting to compare them, and just to temper a little bit of the enthusiasm from the JuJu Watkins fans who I see making comments saying she's going to break all these records and going to be the best player of all time, and talk about Caitlin Clark's turnovers when they're not even aware of her turnovers to assist ratio, and the fact that her shooting percentage was not good actually for a volume shooter. She reminds me of Allen Iverson her freshman year. Again, it will go up, I'm sure, because she's a great athlete and she's going to mature.
All right.
So we'll see. Let us know what you think. Who you think is going to have a better college career, and who you think is going to have a better WNBA career. I gave you the reasons why I think each of them could, because like I said, JuJu Watkins could be the greatest player of all time in both college and the WNBA for all I know. I don't know. She's only played 1 year. So we'll see.
Right.
Rob, do you have an opinion on who the future of the two of them in the WNBA?
Well, with me, this shows the future of the WNBA if they do it right. These future players that are coming up and coming into the WNBA, it looks very, very bright. Like I said, I've looked at some of the games for the under 17, under 16, and these young ladies have been playing. They've been just blowing out all the other teams.
Well, Rob, what I'm asking you is, do you have a prediction on who's going to have a better college career and who's going to have a better WNBA career between JuJu Watkins and Caitlin Clark?
I'm going to go with JuJu Watkins.
Okay.
Because I mean, there's so much potential. I mean, like you said, they're so close. They're so close as far as that. And if you're just talking about turnovers, who cares? I mean, they want to use the turnovers like the people are using it against Caitlin Clark. Yes, but then you got to look at the percentage, like you said, during the percentage rate between the turnovers and assists.
Right.
So if that's the only bugaboo about comparing who's going to be better, that's not too bad. But the potential.
But that's not the only bugaboo. Her shooting percentage isn't good either for JuJu.
Yeah, but I was not going to, like you said, she's only a freshman, and all she can do is improve, and she will with better. She'll have better teammates than Caitlin Clark is definitely on her team. Like I said, she's got some good players coming into USC, so we'll see.
And USC has a good team. I mean, she could get a championship in college before she graduates. She could be 3-time player of the year. Caitlin Clark was only 2-time player of the year. She has to win it this year, obviously. And it's like, I think it's neck and neck between her and Paige Becker, who's a former player of the year, if you don't know. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, nothing negative about JuJu Watkins. I just want to put it all in perspective and let people be aware of, pluses and minuses of each player. Anyways, that's our video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Please do so and hit the notification bell. We're going for 2,000. We've only been around for 3 months. And we almost got 2,000 subscribers, which is really good, but we want to even do better. So we need your help.
Mark, cue the final countdown. Come on.
We're over 1,800. If you like this video, hit the like button. And feel free to make intelligent, non-insulting comments. In fact, I'd like to hear from you. Who do you think had a better freshman year? I gave you all the stats. Who do you think is going to have a better college career? And who do you think is going to have a better WNBA career? I think it's very close. I think they're going to both be like 2 of the 5 best players of all time, in my opinion.
I agree.
So that's my opinion. So anyways, I'd like to hear what you guys think. And our live shows are Monday Eastern time from 6 to 8. It's 2 hours now, except for major holidays and except for the 2 weeks during the Olympics, because we're going to do live shows 2 to 5 every day for 2 weeks from July 27th to August 10th, because it's prime time in Paris, and that's when all the marquee events are. And we're going to cover the game today, which is, if you're watching this on July 6th, 1 o'clock on CBS, and we're going to do a live show right here. So join us for that, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right. Peace out.